Trying to find the worst movie ever made. Now, off rip, I would say the movie with Ice Cube in it that came out about him just sitting at his desk trying to save the world. I forgot what that's called. I think it's called Saving Worlds or whatever. It's literally just the entire movie is just like an Amazon ad. I think that's got to be the worst. Or the thumbnail did have the Dragon Ball Z movie that sucked. But I mean, I feel like those aren't like the worst movies ever. I feel like there's definitely movies that are way worse than that. That just aren't like known. Maybe like the Fred movie or some shit. So let's log in.
In the many creatively bankrupt years of my YouTube career, recycling more ideas and the poster designer for the Home Alone sequels, we have watched a lot of crappy movies. Cinematic tour de forces like Diary of a Wimpy Kid 4.
Oh, this movie. I saw this movie when it came out. This movie sucked so bad. None of the jokes were funny. Oh, Roderick sucked. This isn't the worst movie of all time. Like, this movie does suck. It actually sucks horribly though.
Transmorphers 1 through 3.
I've never seen any of those.
Unrelated movies called Among Us and The Amazing Bulk.
What the hell is that?
Well, it ain't Barney.
It's the worst
But the idea for
CGI.
this video began just like any other night, where because I had nothing else to do, since it's not like I'm sleeping at the moment between the constant 45-degree weather every night and an aircon that sounds like an angry microwave screaming at me. Given that I've been spending that much time wishing I was dead, it made me kind of nostalgic for all the time that I spent watching these. And dude, I just feel like people...
Alvin and the Chipmunk. What was that one? Road Chip? I'm pretty sure it was called Road Chip. That one did suck too. Horrible ending to the franchise. I really wanted to see a great ending to the Alvin and the Chipmunks franchise. Honestly, I remember Shipwreck. People don't talk about that movie that much. The one where they're stuck on an island. I fucked with that one a lot when I was like 5. I haven't heard people talk about that one though. So
will hand out the title of the worst of all time like every 2 days, you know, like
Megamind
2 or the Snow White remake. Melania just came out and it's already like the lowest rated movie on IMDb. Like it can't be that bad. Yeah, no, you guys were right. There's like so many things that could classify a movie as being the worst of all time. Slap together lazy cash grab sequels that no one likes. Movies.
yeah, the sequel problem. I think I got a video that I'm gonna watch on that. But yeah, bro, the Titanic 2. Like, bro. And then there's like the Megamind sequel that came out like 2 or 3 years ago, which is just like, it kind of started, it's like, it was just very surprising because I feel like they stopped doing like the animated straight to DVD sequels that Disney did. Like Disney made like The Lion King 2, they made Tarzan 2, and like a bunch of other movies that were just like animated, cheaper, and they weren't really that big, and it just had different voice actors, and it was just kind of like whatever. It was just cash grab basically. I'm surprised that they did that with Megamind though. Because I feel like if you did the right plot, you could have just brought back Will Ferrell. But they didn't bring back Will Ferrell, I'm pretty sure. And like the quality was also just horrible. Like the animation was just literally shit. So
that are offensive to victims of recent tragedies. Movies like Food Fight and The Open House on Netflix that are literally not even finished. And Madam Web. Just all of it. So I spent the last few days suffering through the best that the 15th page of Amazon had to offer to find the worst movie of all time. And now I'm going to tell you about it. So I began my search in the most obvious place, the sites that everyone goes to base their opinions of movies on before they even see them. Now, I can tell you that in my thousands of wasted hours scrolling...
What is on here? Jurassic Shark? I've never even heard of that one. There's Finding Jesus, the Emoji Movie. I see Tall Girl right there. That makes sense. And there's Tall Girl 2. Those movies did suck horrible.
Tell you about it.
What's up here? Yeah, you have the Dragon Ball movie. Yeah, World of War. I was talking about that. Jeepers Creepers. I love that film. I think that's the reboot. I love the original, but fuck the director. Burn in hell. The Winnie the Pooh thing. 365 days. Yeah, there's another. Those are actually horrible. Swite. Yeah, that's really bad. The Last Airbender 2025. I do know some of these just from like movie reviews, like YouTube. The Megamind sequel, the other 35.
Search in the most obvious.
That's what is that? Food Fighter. He's all that. That sucked.
Place.
The Kissing Booth 3. I feel like the Kissing Booth 1 is corny, but like it can still get away with being an alright movie. And then they just kind of like they're like, let's just make a trilogy, and it just got worse and worse. The Human Centipede 3. Yeah. I haven't seen any of those movies. I've seen clips on TikTok, but yeah, I feel like anybody that watches those movies has problems. Fantastic Four reboot. It's bad, but is it really like top 100 worst films of all time bad? Like, I don't know about that.
Sites that everyone goes to base their opinions of movies.
Norm of the North? Yo, I fucked with that, bro. I had the DVD of that when I was like 7 or 8.
On before they even see them.
Jeepers Creepers 3? Jeepers Creepers 1 and 2 are good. The first one, especially. The second one, I do like though. Yeah, the third one, yeah. The Kissing Booth too, yeah.
Now, I can tell you that in my thousands of wasted hours scrolling funny one-star reviews, that there's not many of these sites that have like an actual list we can go off of,
Jack
even
and
less
Jill.
that people actually care about. Since every site has like a totally different answer to this question, since there's about a 40-year age gap between all of their
Yo, what the fuck is that?
users. Like, if you gathered all of IMDb's active user base, it'd probably look like a nursing home. While everyone on Letterboxd are people like me who won't watch
Morbius.
anything unless it's shown to them on Instagram Reels, which is why, like, most of their lowest rated movies are from, like, the last 10 years or so. Last year's War of the Worlds, for example, the movie where Ice Cube does a let's play of an alien invasion for 2 hours, was so iconic that at only the age of 6 months has already cleared through 70 years of film history to take the runner-up spot for the worst movie of all time.
That is insane.
That was easy.
And I've seen this movie like 3 times, which I cannot wait to be reminded about on my deathbed, but I have to disqualify it from the running purely for the fact that it has Roderick Heffley in it.
It's you! It's you!
I'm sorry, women.
How could you, man?
But on this list was some incredible competition like 365 Days, The Emoji Movie, Cats, every single After movie, and
Holy shit. Bro, the After movie sucked so much, bro. And there's like 6 of them. Just the same plot in every single one. And then, what is this? Titanic 666. I guess, bro. We're just making anything now.
Titanic 666.
110 years after the launch of the original, Titanic 3 will set sail in just a few hours on the same path as her
Titanic
namesake.
3.
Oh my god, look at this ship!
It's kind of crazy that out of the probably millions of shit-ass Tubi movies, and also with the existence of a Pacific Rim 2, the only movie on the entire site to have a score lower than a 1 is Dragon Ball Evolution. A movie that condenses the entire beloved story of the most famous anime of all time
Yeah, that's
into
some
like
crazy
an hour and a
CGI.
half long Riverdale episode that makes bold narrative choices like trading Frieza for a gang of high school chuds and expertly adapting all of Goku's iconic character traits like getting bullied at high school and not only knowing what a woman is but spending half of the movie trying to sleep with one.
Just because my name is Chi Chi doesn't make me a complete idiot.
Right, because there's a lot stupider names than Chi-Chi. I'm not saying that Chi-Chi's a stupid name. I'm just
You're
saying
losing
that
aura,
it's
bro.
not normal.
And just overall has like about as much commitment to the OG show as the single strand of blue hair on Bulma. But at least they made sure to get right everyone's favorite thing about the series though, which is having Goku look like he's trying not to shit himself in every single fight
He does
scene.
look horrible.
am Muten Roshi, the Invincible!
My grandfather is dead.
The only impressive part about it is their restraint to like not immediately throw in like the most chopped attempt at a Vegeta or Super Saiyan in there, but that was definitely just to save them for like the 5 sequels that they never made. But you know, even after saying all that, I don't think this is our man. Purely for the fact that if it wasn't like 90 minutes of people LARPing as Dragon Ball characters, it wouldn't be anywhere near close to being on the same list as like Swiped with Noah Centineo.
Do you
Horrible.
really want to pay for a movie? No! Or flower? No! I'm gonna say the C word. I know we don't like to say it, alright? Here we go. Commitment.
Now, we've all been there with bad adaptions of shit we love, okay? I say that as a Transformers fan. Trust me, I get it. We know the Avatar fanbase has been under a mass psychosis since 2010, but I still don't think it's that bad, dude. Like, calling it worse than the entire 365 Days franchise is a big call.
That is definitely rough. There's no way that that movie is worse than that franchise, bro. I think it's just the #1 spot because it's just known for being really bad. Also probably has to do with the budget. The budget was probably a decent amount, so that has to take into consideration, but definitely not worse than 365 Days, though.
Okay? Trust me, I've seen all of them. Like, as a Dragon Ball movie, yeah, you'd get more accuracy from fucking epic rap battles, but like, on its own, I don't know if I could crown this like the worst of all time on account of it still having things like effects, a story, and acting. I'm not saying any of those things were good, but we're really gonna miss having them in a minute. So my next stop was IMDb, and I have to say, looking through their list, there really is just something about like a shitty comedy movie that hurts in a different way, because like, there's no greater cinematic crime than not being funny, as I'm sure you're all very familiar as regular watchers of my videos. Another movie that dominates a lot of these lists is Movie 43, a film with the most embarrassing collection of Hollywood stars since the Epstein Files.
I suck dicks! I suck dicks! I suck them all the time!
If you were a superhero, what would your superpower be?
My superpower would be sucking dick!
One with so much talent somehow involved in a film that opens with Hugh Jackman having a giant nutsack on his face and then somehow only gets worse from there, that you do have to wonder if the premiere for it forewent the standing ovation for an involuntary moment of silence for everyone's careers.
Like, Yeah, movie 43, there's disaster movie. Like, it's just movies that are trying to be like scary movie, just like parody movies. I think the only movies that have ever gotten it right with being funny and just parodying other things. Like, this is just a movie that's trying to be dumb. And it's bad. It's still bad. But there's movies that can get away with that. It's not like you try to be dumb and funny. It's just unfunny. That's what it is. But there are movies that can get away with it, with being dumb, and it can still be funny and good, like Scary Movie or Not Another Teen Movie. I thought that's pretty good, you know what I mean? But this is just like, let's get a bunch of actors in here and let's just do dumb stuff. Like, oh, let's put nuts on his chin. It's just not funny, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you squeeze her boobies. Yeah, and touch her butt.
What I did find out during this movie, though, while Lifeline put me on hold, is that for some reason, IMDb's lowest rated movie of all time has a higher score than the 4 movies that are ranked below it. Which, last time I checked, is not how numbers work, but it's apparently just because they rank stuff based on, like, popularity or something, so that it's a bit more proportionate, which, I mean, I guess makes sense if you want to be lame about it. If you go by the user rating, though, it's a totally different story, because then you get a list of movies that the entire Western Hemisphere doesn't even know exist, and also Food Fight.
Food Fight. I've never even heard of that.
It was a perfectly good bag of chips.
So it turns out IMDb's actual lowest rated movie is something called Smolensk, but like 2 seconds of lazily Google searching it tells me that it's because it's some like Polish propaganda conspiracy movie. Yet I'm sure you can tell, having been 10 minutes in this video already, that I'm not exactly going to be like a compelling voice for European politics. So back to IMDb's lowest rated movie, as long as you squint a little.
Disaster movie.
Never seen it.
Fuck.
Everyone remembers the Scary Movie movies, but for some weird reason, no one ever brings up any of the 5,000 attempts to recreate them that all collectively have a lower Rotten Tomato score than the entire Birdemic.
It's movies trying to parody movies and trying to do the same thing Scary Movie did, and they just didn't do it right. This was like in the early 2000s. So many movies were made like this that were just trying to parody everything, and they all sucked too. The only one that was good was the Scary Movie. Scary Movies, they were good. Like the first and second one were good. And then they became horrible. Because the Wayne brothers weren't making them anymore. And then Not Another Teen Movie came out. That one was not that bad. I'm also biased because Chris Evans is in it. Fuck with Chris Evans. Review wise, it probably didn't do good though. So, but yeah, like there's just so many movies that were like this that came out and they all suck.
Franchise. My brother made me watch the Fast and Furious one with him a couple years ago against my will, and there was a scene where they were like infiltrating a place while completely naked that went on for so long that when my mum got home, she thought we were just watching porn. Even some of the crappiest movies still have like something to like about it. Jack and Jill had Dunkachino. Norm of the North makes for an incredible drinking game. Space Chimps 2 ends. But Disaster Movie is the worst kind of movie. One that, much like my 12 years of schooling, immediately left my brain the second it wasn't in front of me. If the worst crime of the other movies they made was that they weren't funny, Disaster Movie mocks all of them by not even having any jokes. It's just 90 minutes of never-ending Family Guy cutaway gags with no punchline other than borderline copyright infringement.
Indiana Jones?
Indiana my ass.
Disaster Movie doesn't have the usual things that you'd find in a movie, like, you know, a story.
All right, yeah, maybe that was kind of funny.
Or basic respect for your time, but still has time for so many poop and fart jokes that the only part of it I enjoyed was pretending that the credits were an obituary. You could have told me that my house burned down in a freak accident, and I would have been less upset than finding out I was only halfway through this movie.
I'm lactating. Moo.
At this point, I knew I was getting closer, both to finding the answer and also to death. But just before I thought I'd found our winner, I realized that my dog was absolutely locked the fuck in on this movie. So, you know, at least we found their target audience. But I gotta say, Disaster Movie worked very hard to earn its well-deserved top spot, so let's see how it compares to our final site. Rotten Tomatoes has 2 different ratings for every movie. One from people who get paid to watch movies all day, which I can't imagine what that's like. And another from like general audiences, but we're just going to ignore that because I remember that includes people like my mum, who every single time I've seen watch a movie will not look up from the level of wordscape she's been stuck on for the last 4 years and then complain she doesn't know what's going on. Now, the problem with Rotten Tomatoes is that their rating system kind of sucks. I mean, IMDb and Letterboxd don't work remotely the same, and yet whenever they can agree on something being complete arse, there's always that one guy on Rotten Tomatoes that still gives Titanic 2 a 15%. The way that Rotten Tomatoes works, for those of you who aren't as vitamin D deficient as me, is that a 0% doesn't mean it's like a 0 out of 10. It just means that 0% of the people that reviewed it actually liked it. 0% of those reviews were positive, but that could mean they were anywhere from like a 0 to a 5 out of 10, right? And then the same goes the other way, right? Like if every single person gave Transformers 2, which is in the corner of the room for some reason, a 6 out of 10, it's going to come up as like the greatest shit of all time. You get it. I don't have to keep... You understand. So I think that makes their collection of movies with a 0% rating a little less funny, but at least they still got their own Wikipedia page to immortalize their shame. But there's only one of these that has 117 negative reviews, the most on the entire list by a huge margin, which means it's got to be absolutely poo-poo, right? And that movie is Ballistic X vs. Sever.
What is
with
that?
Antonio Banderas and Lucy Liu and Darth Maul. Are we sure they didn't make this movie up like 3 minutes ago? Directed by
She was in
Chaos.
Kill Bill.
You mean the guy from Skylanders? And this movie was actually kind of sick, I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, beautiful. What? Oh! 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 My nose!
I'm not gonna say like I didn't sit there in absolute silence for 90 minutes with literally nothing of value to say about it, and that there weren't lengthy scenes in this movie. I was having a generational run on Subway Surfers. But in spite of its ChatGPT-ass name, the fact that this movie had like actual real stunts and explosions and a soundtrack that goes way
This looks
harder
kinda
than it
cool.
needed to, automatically made it better than the other thousands of dad slop action movies I've been forced to sit through by male family members over the age of 45. And like, yeah, I might not be able to tell you what the movie was even about without skimming the Wikipedia page a couple of times, but I think if anything that just goes to show how arse Rotten Tomatoes is, that when a movie that everyone unanimously agreed is like the most 5 out of 10 movie ever made is considered as even being in the same ballpark.
Yeah, just from those clips, this movie doesn't even look that bad. I mean, it looks kind of mid, but I mean, it doesn't look like 0% worthy, like at all.
Baby Geniuses 2.
It's playtime.
So now we have all our answers. So now what? How do we figure out which one of
Dragon Ball Evolution, disaster movie, and then this movie. All right, mid movie, not even bad, not even a bad movie. Horrible. This is just horrible. We'll be honest. And this one is it tried. It's bad. Like is this? I don't even think this would be like a top 10 worst movie of all time. To be honest with you, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it. It's not good at all though. But this one definitely top 10 has to be.
these is the most bad? Well, between all of these equally strong contenders, it's disaster movie. I fucking hate this movie so much. But I wanted to be absolutely sure that we'd covered all of our bases. And by using the power of basic grade 2 level math, I thought, what if we combine all of these lists and then work out an average score? So I took the bottom 10 from all 3 of these sites, chucked in their ratings, and then spent 15 minutes trying to work out how to average something in Excel. And just like that, we finally have our answer. In third place, we have Food Fight, which... yeah, that checks out. The runner-up is a movie called Saving Christmas, which I watched, and trust me, it's not important.
I love everything about it. I love the music. I love the carols and the hymns. I love all the kids.
But we now know that the worst movie of all time,
What is it?
average score of 1.6 out of 10, objectively, is... what the fuck is 2025, the world enslaved by a
Base?
virus?
It's 2025. The world as we have known in 2020 does not exist anymore. And
This movie is the worst movie of all
2025,
time.
The world enslaved by a virus is what I can best describe as like the Kevin 11 of cinema, in that it takes a little something from every other bad movie to become something somehow even worse. It has enough shitty acting to rival The Room.
There's still like 3 or 4 minutes left of the video. I'm pretty sure like Danny Gonzalez or somebody. No, I think it was Curtis Connor did a video on this. I think I saw some of that. This is the worst movie of all time. I mean, I guess it is really bad.
Dude, Schrader, did you sell us out?
I didn't sell you out. What do you mean? I don't know who's at the door.
Nobody knew that we were here.
It's directed by someone that should probably be in jail. Every scene indoors is shot like an Adobe Premiere tutorial video. I mean, there's nothing this movie can't do, except get through a single line of dialogue without fucking it up.
Those movies seem so far away.
True.
And now 5 years later we have...
And this happens so many times, and they just leave it in the movie anyway.
See, when I sleep, I can't sleep anymore.
those films about the countries in the Middle East where Christianity was illegal.
They have nothing to say anymore.
The whole thing's about like after COVID took over the world, the government made things like Christianity illegal, but not if this guy has anything to say about it. He doesn't care about laws, you know, given that he met his in real life girlfriend when she was 14 years old.
We'll just keep playing it.
And if it is the police, we're not gonna stop singing because of the government. We're gonna trust God.
This movie starts with like a sick-ass car chase of what I imagine are the movie's investors hunting down the director after seeing the finished product, which got me excited thinking the rest of it wasn't going to be 70 uninterrupted minutes of unscripted small talk.
Their excuse was virus. Something they sold us as a super deadly killer virus. The state leaders started to take away our rights.
The final season of Stranger Things would be jealous of how much of this movie is just people reiterating the same thing for an hour and a half. Almost the entire movie is just them sitting in a room and brainstorming like a plan that they then go outside and do by spraying a bunch of fish everywhere, which like attracts the attention of a new person who they then bring back to the room to talk about it for 10 minutes. And this goes on for an hour and a half.
All right, what did Corona do to Jesus?
Nothing.
What in the fuck is this movie? This is actually definitely the worst movie of all time after seeing that.
As both their movement and my suicidal thoughts grow, they go from talking inside of a room to talking outside of a room and begin employing a potentially illegal amount of montages to defeat the coronavirus.
Our whites became gray, mixed by the government. They decide when your children get born, what job you get, and when you should die. But the freedom that was taken from us.
And when I first saw this, I cried because I found out I was only 14 minutes into the movie. And on account of most of the runtime being like a barely edited podcast, there's really not that much else for me to tell you about it. Like the main guy confesses his feelings to a girl at some point and then they make out, but like in a way that leaves room for Jesus.
I know it will be hard, but with Jesus in the center of our relationship, it can last.
It will last.
Bro, what is this?
And then he gets shot in the head and dies. And that's how it ends. Hey, can I be next? I'm gonna be honest, guys. I think we might have found it. Because, dude, not even the greatest friend group in the world and lethal amounts of alcohol could ever make me want to sit through this again. So, there we go. The irrefutable, objective, worst movie of all time.
I can get by that.
So, what do we even get out of doing this aside from severe brain damage? I don't know, but the projector's pretty sweet, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that, honestly. I did not expect that to be on the list, though. I mean, yeah, I have seen that. I haven't seen that movie, but I've seen somebody talk about that movie before. But yeah, that's definitely something. I mean, I guess it is. Yeah, make sure to give that a like and yeah, go subscribe to this dude. And yeah, I've like nothing to say. You kind of just summed it all up for me. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I can't objectively say there's any other movie that would be worse than that I've seen. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
She's